Now there's a couple different ways we can handle this. I prefer to leave the background layer as it is and then duplicate it. Now I can drag this down to this icon, or I can hit Command J. And now I can turn this background copy into a smart object. Now when I clicked, you can't right click on the icon or you get a different contextual menu. This isn't what we want. Click here, right click, and convert to smart object. And now this duplicate layer now has this weird little symbol over it, which is cool. That means it's a smart object. We can apply filters non-destructively. So we're going to come up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And now I don't know what the default setting is for this, but wherever it pops up, just start pulling this around. Look at what you got. And, don't go crazy on it. I'm going to pull it, somewhere in here. And the cool thing is, if we don't like it, we can always double click and change it. That's the beauty of non-destructive workflow. You're not locked into anything. Now I want to change this background copy to the blend mode, change it to darken. And you might say, what just happened? Well, let's look at this at 100%, Command 1. This is actual pixels. Now, if we hide this layer, what happened? Well, a lot happened. It really got soft. It didn't seem like it at first. And now, is this enough softness? I'm going to hold down the space bar to get the hand tool, move around, look at different areas, and say, what happens if we double click on Gaussian Blur and change this? Ramp up that blur. Maybe not quite that far, but you keep playing with it to figure out what you like. Command 0. And one thing that Darken does is it really does darken everything. So we can always up. These are everything's, all our adjustments are above this, so that we can take our levels, double click, and we can lighten it up a little bit or darken it up a little bit. We have all this control because it's not destructive. We've worked so everything, even our dodge and burn layer, we can paint with white to lighten. We can fill this with 50% gray and do that all over again. That's the beauty of this type of workflow. Now, is this background perfect? I'll tell you what, if I'm doing this, I've got one more step, and then I might start again because I'm not sure this is the right image to have started with. There's more we can do to this, but now you have a whole array of advanced features that you can experiment with on different images and play and play and play, repeat and repeat. Do at least 3 or 4 images so that you can go over all these steps and begin to learn this. This is in no way the full tool palette that we're going to be using, but it's a good beginning. This is a pretty advanced little layer stack that you're using in your very first Photoshop project. But heck with it. I'm not going to come back. I'm going to come to this top layer just so we can finish this up. This looks blue. This looks purple. This really bothers me because we got 2 different colors here. We can fix this really easily with a photo filter. Right here. See this little picture of a camera? If I click on this, by default you get the warming filter. Click on this pull down, you get a whole bunch of different ones, but violet. Look at how everything just kind of softened up. That purple softened up. We're kind of moving back towards one color. And maybe deep blue. Check that out. So again, you just play around with this, figure out what you like. And you may not even need this. But I'm going to go ahead and take this one because we look at before and after. This softened up that deep purple a little bit and gave us a little more continuity. But again, I'm not sure I like this. It's one of those things that maybe needs to be played with a little bit more. And one thing I can do, this background, we can lower the opacity a little bit, let a little bit more show through. That might even be interesting. Heading up to 100%. We're starting to get something that may even be worth looking at and building text on top of. So before you give up, just know there's always more things you can try.